Nobody talks about this, but some of the nicest, most mature, and put together people you know are actually just children of toxic parents in disguise. That calm friend who never reacts. That one who overthinks every text before sending it. That one who apologizes for things they didn't even do. That's not personality, that's survival. And the craziest part is that they don't even know they're doing it. Because if you grew up in a toxic home, you didn't just grow up, you adapted. You trained yourself to survive things no child should even understand. And those survival skills followed you into adulthood. So, let's expose it. There are three unusual traits almost every child of toxic parents has. And when you hear them, you're either going to feel seen or slightly attacked. 1. You apologize for everything. Someone else bumps into you at the grocery store, and you're the one saying sorry. The sun sets too early, and you probably feel like you should apologize for the rotation of the earth. It is absolutely exhausting when people watch you do this. You aren't being polite. You are being a human shield for problems you didn't even create. When you grow up with toxic parents, you learn very quickly that anything that goes wrong is somehow your fault. If the soup is cold, you should have heated it better. If your dad had a bad day at work, you should have been quieter. You lived in a house where the atmosphere was a ticking time bomb, and your sorry was the safety pin you desperately tried to shove back in. Stop doing that. You are apologizing for existing. You are apologizing for taking up space in a room that you pay rent for. It's a trauma response masquerading as good manners. Your brain is hardwired to believe that if you can just take the blame first, the explosion won't happen. But I put it to you that the explosion already happened 20 years ago, and you're still acting like you're standing in the debris. 2. You overthink everything like your life depends on it. If overthinking was an Olympic sport, you'd have enough gold medals to melt them down and buy a house where nobody yells at you. You spend 45 minutes crafting a 3-word text message because you're worried a period instead of an exclamation point will make the other person think you're planning a coup. You may wonder why you do this. It is because in your house, the sentence "it's fine" didn't mean it's really fine. It was just the silence before the hurricane. You had to become a world-class investigator profiler just to survive breakfast. You had to analyze the sound of the front door closing, the tone of a hello, and the way every step stomped on the floor. You learned to read the air because if you missed one tiny cue, the whole day was ruined. Now you're an adult, and you're doing the same thing to your boss, your partner, and the barista, who probably doesn't even know your name. You are exhausting yourself by solving problems that don't even exist. You're playing chess with people who are barely playing checkers. It's funny sometimes, but other times it's mostly just sad. You think you're being careful, but the truth is, you're just living in a constant state of repetitive anxiety for no reason. Put the mental chess pieces down. They aren't thinking about you nearly as much as you're thinking about how they're thinking about you. 3. You struggle to accept love, even when it's real. This one is quite sad to see. Someone treats you well, they buy you a gift, or heaven forbid, they give you a genuine compliment, and your first instinct is to think or ask what the catch is. When you grow up with toxic parents, love is never free. It's a transaction. It's a bait and switch. It's hearing adults say, "love you," but quickly follow that up by asking, "why can't you be more like your cousin?" Or they say, "I love you." Then follow it up by asking you to do something that you absolutely hate. So now, when a healthy person walks into your life, you treat them like a suspect in a criminal investigation. You wait for the mask to slip. You pick fights just to see if they'll leave, because if they leave now, it hurts less than if they leave later. It's a self-sabotaging circus, and you're the lead clown. It is genuinely hilarious and heartbreaking that you think you don't deserve kindness. You think peace is boring because you're addicted to the chaos you grew up in. You're so used to love being a weapon that when someone hands you a flower, you check it for a hidden blade. Grow up. Not everyone is your mother or father. Some people actually like you. You've spent your entire life mastering the art of invisibility and hypervigilance, thinking that if you could just be perfect enough, you'd finally be safe. But here is the profound and terrifying truth. You were never the problem, so you can never be the solution to their dysfunction. Your survival depended on looking outward, scanning faces, reading moods, and anticipating storms. To heal, you have to perform the most radical act of rebellion possible. You have to look inward. The solution isn't to fix your traits, it's to grieve the child who had to develop them. Stop trying to outrun your past and instead, Sit with the discomfort of peace. You aren't boring when you aren't in crisis. You are finally existing. Deep healing begins the moment you realize that no is a complete sentence, and that your worth is not a wage you have to earn every day through service and silence. To stop living like a ghost of your parents' expectations, you need to perform an aggressive system reboot. Here are 5 ways to stop surviving and start existing. Audit your sorry. For the next week, catch every apology. If you didn't commit a felony or spill coffee on someone, replace "I'm sorry" by saying "thank you for waiting" or "thanks for understanding." Reclaim your right to take up space. 2. Practice intentional boredom. Your brain is addicted to the cortisol of chaos. Force yourself to sit in peace without scrolling or overthinking. Teach your nervous system that quiet does not mean danger. Set one tiny boundary. Say no to a small favor you don't want to do. Watch the world not end. Realize that people who love you won't vanish just because you have a preference. Reparent the inner voice. When you mess up, talk to yourself like a best friend, not a drill sergeant. If you wouldn't say it to a child, don't say it to yourself. Lastly, seek mirroring. Surround yourself with healthy people. Observe how they react to mistakes, with grace, not fire. Use their normalcy as a blueprint to rewrite your own. Being mature and put together is a great mask, but it's heavy. You are carrying the weight of a childhood you didn't even get to enjoy. You're still trying to protect that little kid who was stuck in that house. But guess what? You aren't in that house anymore. You're the adult now. You're the one in charge. You don't have to apologize for breathing. You don't have to analyze the tone of every okay you receive. And for the love of everything holy, you have to stop pushing away people who actually want to be there for you. It's not your fault that you were raised by people who didn't know how to be parents, but it is your responsibility to make sure their toxicity doesn't win in the end. Don't let their ghost run your life, because at some point, you have to choose who you become after what you've been through. As Carl Jung said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." Your past may explain you, but it does not own you. You are not just the child who survived chaos. You are the adult who can create peace. And that shift changes everything. So, take your power back, slowly but surely. Because healing is not loud, it is quiet, consistent, and intentional. And one day, without even noticing, you will become someone your younger self would finally feel safe with. You're not broken. You're just calibrated for a war zone that you've already escaped. It's time to change the settings. Stop apologizing to your furniture when you trip over it, and try even for one day to believe that you're actually a decent human being. Because you are. Even if you're a total mess. The comment of the day goes to this user, and it reads, "You didn't have to drag us by the neck like that. Sometimes the truth needs a little pressure."